Today I plan to demonstrate how to preserve breast milk with the Milky Treasures preservation powder. Now this half an ounce was like $25, but it is enough for 2 uses of preserving, so I'm going to use half of it today and save the other half for a future child. So via the instructions on the video, half of this packet is a half a teaspoon. Now I have a ring ordered. This is the one that I made previously with the original band ring box, which is currently holding my phone, so I'll show that in a minute. So here I'm just adding a half a teaspoon of the preservation powder. I can always make more. I have a very long story about the first time I did this with my daughter's ring. My breastfeeding journey with my son is very different, and I'm very grateful. So as you can see, I still have a ton of milk powder left in here. And it says half a teaspoon with 5 milliliters of breast milk, and I have 10 milliliters de-thawed here. I had these lovely syringes gifted to me by my lactation consultant. I actually have a ton more saved. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off the cap and just start slowly adding milk to this powder. I will bring this into view a little bit better. That wasn't supposed to happen. Again, I was very careful with my daughters because I didn't produce much milk with her, and I didn't have very much to spare with my son if I ever needed more. I could literally just get it fresh from the tap. So it looks like I'm actually going to need a bit more powder for my 5 milliliters of milk because it's still very liquidy. So I'm going to attempt to set this down gently. I'm going to add just a little bit more powder. They said that the measurements weren't exact, and it wasn't quite half the bag, so it's just amazing how much more I'm going to be able to get for my son than I did for my daughter. Two very different experiences with breastfeeding, for sure. This is actually exactly the consistency I'm wanting, and you really don't need very much milk at all for these projects. So So you're wanting about that consistency, almost like a cornstarch and water mixture. We've all made the cornstarch and water as a kid. And if you haven't, then it's never too late. Okay. So I still have, like I said, a ton of milk and a huge mess on my table. Go figure. And they, in the ring box that I have, they give you these beautiful little sheets of parchment. And I'm putting it on a paper plate for stability. So you just scrape all of this out here. And this will make so much powder, like way more than I will need for this one ring. But I'm going to save it and use it later for making more keepsakes in the future, because I still have extra of my daughter's powder as well. But I wanted to make a ring for each of my children. We have 2 right now. We do plan to have a 3rd in the future. And worst case scenario, I've got this preservation powder and I can always gift it to a mom in need of some. Okay, so I've got it on my little sheet there. And now I'm going to spread it out. The thinner the better, dries better, dries faster. I'm actually going to leave this spoon with it, I think. And while I'm doing that, I will explain my story. Goodness, it's making quite a mess. I'll explain my story and talk about my first time experiencing this. So, the very first time that I did this process was when I had my daughter. Enjoy my ceiling. So my daughter, who is now 21 months, I wanted to breastfeed her very badly. She was my first child. About 2 weeks in, my milk still hadn't come in. I was supplementing her with formula. My mental health was just tanked, and I never did get more than just a few drops of colostrum each pumping session, and I was just defeated. We eventually decided that it was best to stop breastfeeding, and I had managed to save a half an ounce of milk that she did not drink from a feed. I stuck it in a little breast milk bag, stuck it in the freezer. I couldn't bear to throw it out, even though it was not good. It had sat out, but I'm so glad that I kept it because I was able to add a little bit of breast milk to this preservation powder. My husband bought this beautiful ring kit for me from Milky Treasures. It's a full UV resin kit. Comes with a UV light, comes with the resin, came with the ring. It came with everything I needed. I recorded all of that and posted it to TikTok way back when. It was very emotional. A lot of it was just in pictures instead of on video because I was crying the entire time. It was a very beautiful process. I really enjoyed every bit of it. And we ended up finishing that ring, and I wear it every single day on top of my wedding band, which is currently flipped all the way around. My wedding ring's really loose. This is an adjustable band, so it kind of helps keep my wedding ring in place as well. I had added flakes to the top, but they have since chipped off. I don't think I'll add any of the flake to my son's. His is going to be a gold band, which actually doesn't come in until the end of the month. So I will preserve the powder, put it into this adorable little baby food container, and I will have that for him whenever my ring gets here. He's currently napping. My daughter is currently napping. But yeah, it's a beautiful, heartbreaking story about how I got into this. But now that I've made one ring, I want to make a ring for every child. I do plan to take this preservation powder, and at some point, I would like to make a wall hanging with each of the kids' breast milk preserved powder. You know, I just find it so beautiful that this is milk I produced specifically for this child. My body made it for this child, to feed this child, to nurture this child. With my daughter, I wasn't able to continue that journey for long, and it was heartbreaking. But I'm able to do it. We're 6 months going strong with my son, and I definitely wanted a memento. I had saved this milk from, I don't even remember, one of the times I had to pump and dump because it wasn't good to feed him. Definitely still good to use, but not good to feed him. But yeah, I am very grateful to be able to do this with my son, and can't wait to show you guys how it turns out. So stay tuned. There will be more parts to this video series. Once my milk dries, I'll show you guys the grinding process, and eventually I will show you guys the making of the ring. So thank you so much for watching this video.